Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Pleasure to have you here with us at Sundance London. Maybe you can begin with a brief introduction to Scrapper. What can people expect when they watch it?
Oh God, I'm shy at these introductions, but what can people expect from Scrapper? Talking spiders, and yeah, it is a kind of magical outlook on like a 12-year-old who's raising herself and meeting her dad for the first time. And I'm really bad at summing films up, so I'm sorry I can't offer anything better.
No, that was perfect. And tell us about how the project came about. What was the initial inspiration for the story, and why did you want to tell it?
I'm going to let you down on every answer because I ain't got a clue what the original inspiration was. It has just evolved and changed over time. I think I'd always wanted to tell a kind of joyful story that was about working class worlds and kind of the humour and the communities within those worlds. So maybe it came a little bit from that, and then it came from me just wanting to like mess around on set and have like water fights and eat lots of Haribo. So it was a little bit selfish in that regard, yeah.
And how on earth did you get this amazing cast together? How did you choose them, and how did you work with them to achieve your vision?
Shaheen, our casting director, was like incredible and is amazing with finding like you know, cast that don't have experience, like Lola and Alan. And Lola sent in a tape talking about home bargains, and straight away I was like, she's the one. The home bargains girl is magic. And she's like a very unique human. When you meet her in person, you're like, yeah, she's like a grandma, you know, like a 12-year-old grandma who's complaining about the shade of her cups of tea and, you know, the comfort of her shoes. So from the start, we kind of, yeah, loved her. And then Alan as well is super charismatic. And Harris, I've always loved Harris's work, and I worked with him a few years ago. So yeah, we just got lucky, lots of legends.
Yeah, I think Harris Dickinson is one of these actors that just, because I remember seeing him in Beach Rats. And like, just since then, which didn't seem that long ago, it's just kind of like the stars just like totally rising. What do you think is so special about him as an actor?
I think he's just like so, he's going to be sick of me saying this, but he's very selfless, and he's very aware of like what other people need, and which is so important with like a young cast like we had. You know, he knows how to support them and give them what they need to offer their best performance. So he can kind of bring his magic, and he can offer a lot to other people as well, which I think is like quite rare with actors, because I think it is naturally a very like you have to focus on yourself kind of role, but Harris is just like, yeah, selfless, a 10 out of 10 human being. You know, he's just, yeah, he's incredible for sure.
And you know, it sounds like you had so much fun on set. What were some of the highlights for you? And on the other side, were there any bits that were a bit tricky?
The highlights, I don't know. I think you do that thing, didn't you, where you like remember it all romantically to convince yourself to do it again. But so I'm gonna say it was all great. And luckily, you know, like Molly, my DP, is one of my best friends. Eleanor, the production designer, I went to school with and has been my best friend since I was like a kid. And Theo is, you know, like my producer is like a brother to me. So it was very much a set that was surrounded by like people who loved each other and loved the project, which meant it was like a great time. And having the kids means that you all like get like a really cool perspective on our job, because I always think like we are like making films. To call it a job is mad, you know. We're not like saving lives or doing anything like scary. And the kids just would come to set and find everything such a joy. Like you put a filter in the camera and they'll be like, oh my God, a filter, you know? And it kind of makes you step back and remember that what you're doing is like sick and, you know, the best job in the world, which kind of rubbed off on the whole crew and the whole set for sure, yeah.
And do you have a favourite scene, or when you watch it back now, that you're like, that was my favourite scene?
I don't know. I'm not really like, I don't really like watching it, and I don't like being positive about it. So not because the actors aren't great and everyone who worked on it wasn't great, but I'm just not really not that way inclined with positivity. So no, I just find it all like mad painful to watch. So yeah, I couldn't pick a favourite scene at all. Yeah.
And what do you hope people take away from watching it? You know, what do you think when people leave the cinema? What do you hope that they feel?
I don't know, you know, I mean, I hope they don't hate it. I've always liked cinema experiences that like let me leave feeling a bit lighter, or like ones where I've laughed or I've smiled. So I hope it does that, and then I hope people can see like a bit of the joy and like the vibrancy of those like working class communities. But yeah, who knows? Just like a good letterbox rating and a recommend will do, innit? If we're going to be selfish with those kind of stats, yeah.
But it's also kind of like raising issues of, the meaning of family, the importance of family, or, in whatever situation, finding joy and finding hope. And definitely in today's, reality of the life in the UK at the moment, it can all feel a bit bleak. So there's something kind of important in remembering that.
Yeah, you put it better than me, so I wouldn't be able to come back with anything as good as that. You're much better at sentences than I am.
And what does it mean to you to have had your film playing in Sundance, now in Sundance London? I know you got the premiere tonight. How does it all feel for you?
Yeah, no, it's incredible. Like the Sundance community are just like legends, and it's kind of the thing you dream of when you're writing or when you're getting into film, is to be a part of a world like this. So yeah, every part of the process has been like a mad privilege and a mad joy for sure. Yeah.
And is it nice to be kind of on home turf as well, showing the film?
I don't know, I feel like London people are more judgy, so I feel like we're going to get heavy judgment tonight, as where in America they were all like super tired because it was a long festival, so the judgment felt lighter in it, as where London, those lot are going to be brutal. So who knows, I'm sure, yeah, it's a nice time. I won't watch it, but it's cool, yeah.
And do you already know what you're going to be working on next? Or are you still thinking about your next project?
Yeah, I'm working on another film with my producer Theo, and who knows, yeah. I'm just chilling, not doing too much too epic.
And how do you see the landscape right now? Do you think there's like lots of opportunities for filmmakers, particularly independent filmmakers, female filmmakers, or do you think it's still pretty tough out there?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm really bad with stuff like this because none of my family kind of worked in film, so I'm always like, oh, it's all right, isn't it? It's quite fun, this. So I don't know. And there's like so much TV filming over here and different ways to tell stories, that goes beyond just cinema and things like that. So yeah, I think there's loads, but I don't know.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that.
No,
I really enjoy your premiere tonight. Have a blast.
Thank you so much.